So today I'm testing a tool that feels less like a standard software setup and more like having a dedicated production studio on your desk. And the tool is ComfyUI. And what makes this interesting is that it doesn't just generate images, it gives you complete control over your entire creation workflow, your samplers, your models, your exact image dimensions, even the way different AI architecture communicates with each other. And then it builds content around it. In this video, we'll set up this open source tool on our Mac system, followed by an entirely cloud based setup, and together we'll create some interesting workflows. So let's get started with this video. Let's begin by first setting up the open source ComfyUI on our Mac system. For this, let's navigate to ComfyUI's website. We'll scroll down and go to download for local, and we will be installing this using GitHub. Now, for ComfyUI, you need to have some prerequisites on your system, and one of that is PyTorch. So we'll navigate towards that, and here are all the commands that would be needed in order to download this. Let's head towards Mac OS terminal. So we begin here at the terminal window. I'm going to navigate to document folder first, just so that we can start from a completely clean slate. Here, I'm going to create a virtual environment by running this command that you see on the screen. Now, the reason why we are doing this is to create an isolated virtual environment to keep all our project dependencies clean and organized. And immediately the system builds an isolated folder for our project. To run this and activate this environment, we'll do is source my env slash bin slash activate. And you can see the environment name pops up in the prompt. Now we need to do is install PyTorch. So I'll run the official install command for the Mac OS, and this should download all the packages. Let's verify if it's installed correctly. We'll do is pip show torch, and if it shows the version number, then it's downloaded properly. Yes, we do have the version number here, so it's done well. Let's navigate back to GitHub and we'll download the zip folder here. We'll go to our documents folder. We'll copy this from the downloads and we'll save this to the document folder where we have created an environment, and we'll unzip it here. Go back to the terminal and then navigate to the same folder. On the directory, you can see we have a requirements folder that has all the system requirement that it needs to run ComfyUI smoothly. So we'll go to the terminal and run this command of pip install our requirements to install all the dependencies. Once it's all installed, we'll launch the server by running the command python main.py, and it gives us a local hosting link. We'll copy and paste this on our browser, and you can see we have our ComfyUI's dashboard right here. Now that our server is set up, let's go to the node library, open Comfy Blueprints, and we'll select a standard text to image workflow. Now, when this workflow loads, you can see that there are three prominent red outlines around the main node. This happens because the system doesn't have an actual AI model to read from yet. So we hit the download all, and right inside the interface, we'll grab the core files that we need. Now I want everything to stay organized so the engine can find them. So I open my file manager, and here you can see the downloads that we have are already here. So what we will do is we'll copy this file from here and we will take this to our folder that we had already created in documents, and we'll save it in ComfyUI master, and this is supposed to be in the model section in diffusion. So we'll place everything at the place that it's supposed to be. So you can see here is diffusion model. So we'll add this here. Next, we have text encoder. We'll check this file here and we'll find this file. We'll copy this, and then again we will navigate to our documents and we'll find is text encoders and we'll put the file right here. Similarly, let's do the same for the other files. Let's reload this workflow again so that all the models can be loaded to our system. And this time you can see that we don't have any border around it. So that means our model has been loaded successfully. And here in the model library, if you navigate towards that, you can see that it has files input in it. Let's test this, and well, here you can change the value of how you want the image to be. The width and the height, we'll change it to 512 512 so that we get a square image. We'll add a node to save this. So we'll add a preview node. Let's test it out with a simple prompt like beach with trees. And here you can see this is our result. This is what the image it has produced. So this was about the Mac system setup, and as you saw we had to download many models in order to run a simple workflow. So if you are someone who has decent space on their system and are working with only a specific kind of tool and model, it would be really beneficial for those. But if you are someone who wants to expand their horizons in terms of models, in terms of what they're doing in their workflow, could be recommended that you would need a higher space on your system, or you can also upgrade to a cloud plan that ComfyUI provides. So let's explore what their paid cloud plan has to offer. We will head towards Google Chrome and search for ComfyUI, and we'll head towards the first website that we see and click Launch Cloud here. Now I'll quickly log in with my Google account here. Fill up, and that's being done. We are now on our ComfyUI's dashboard. Now the first thing that you'll see is the pricing plans. They have yearly and monthly pricings, as you can see right here. Now you would have to have a plan in order to run ComfyUI's cloud. Previously they used to offer 400 free credits, but not right now. So let's get a plan. I'll get the $20 monthly plan, and in INR it would cost you 1994 rupees. So let me just pay this quick and I'll be right back. So now that our payment is completed, here you can see the subscribe button is gone. Let's first test this out on creating an image via text. So we'll search for text to image, and here you can see few options. So there are multiple different models here. These are mainly all the open sourced models. So let's go for Qwen for now. We'll bring Qwen here, and we'll also have as a save node so that we can save this image for a preview. Both the nodes are on the canvas. Let's connect the image output node to the image input node, and I'll give it a small simple prompt like sunset on the beach, and then we will hit is run. And here you can see the diffusion has started, and this is our final result. This is the output that it has created. Now this is a square image of 512 into 512 pixels, so it looks good. Now you can navigate to your profile and view how much credits are left. You just need to go to is manage plan, and here on manage plan you can see how much credits were credited to you, and out of that how much credit are left. So that being said, let's increase the complexity of this workflow a little bit more. Let's introduce another node. Let's introduce a chat node, like a chat node that would help us generate a better prompt to create a better image. Let's give it a prompt and ask it to generate a prompt for image generation to create a sunset on beach, the same thing that you want. And it would create a better prompt than what we did earlier, and it would send it to the image model. And here it has created the image. Looks good, looks good. Let's introduce another node that is for reference image. Go and search for style transfer, and we'll bring this node of magnific image style transfer right here. We'll connect this to our Qwen output right here in the Qwen model, and we'll connect the magnific prompt, and we will connect the magnific node to the save node. We also need a load image, so we'll bring that as well, and we'll connect this to magnific. Here we have loaded our reference image. It's a Van Gogh painting, and we'll use this as reference to create our output, and collect this to a save node, and let's run this workflow and see what it creates. So I think the style transferred worked well. You can see how it has generated the waves, and it has followed the same reference style as the Van Gogh drawing. So it worked well. Now, since we were using an open source model to generate this image, many a time what happens is that the image that it has generated is in a lower quality. And if you want to upscale this image in a normal traditional setup, what we have to do is take that image to another upscaling software, and then you could upscale this. But in ComfyUI, you can just connect it to a simple node for upscaling and upscale your image at the same time. So we'll do the same thing. We'll search for upscaler, and here are multiple different options that you can use for upscaler. Uh, So I'm going to use is the recraft one. We'll bring that on a canvas, and so we'll connect all of these here together. We'll connect it to the upscaler and then to the save image. And here you can see the difference between both the images. Now, the upscaled image is much more detailed and clearer compared to what it has originally created. So, yeah, the upscaler works, and it makes the entire workflow of content creation, image creation, even video creation simpler by having a lot of tools here on the same workflow. Now, previously, when we were using the Gemini or ChatGPT node, what happened is that we were generating prompts, but we weren't able to view what it has exactly generated. So, to solve that problem, we can use this node that is known as preview as text. You can get that from the node selection library right here, and we'll bring that to a canvas as well to test it. So I'm making a simple again image generation node where we will be generating a prompt for that image. And here, as you can see, I have brought two image generation nodes. Now the thing is that you don't have to wait for work to complete before you generate another image. You can generate two or three or even more images simultaneously. Just you need to do is bring another node right on the canvas. So I'll connect all of these together, and let's run it. So here, as you can see, these are our two results, and here is the text that it has generated to create a prompt. Similarly, next let's test out to create a video out of an image. So we'll have these nodes right here, that is the load image, Google Gemini, reference image to video, and preview as text, as well as save video. So I'll bring everything on this canvas. We'll organize everything now, and then we'll simply connect this. So in the load image, let's load our image first. We'll use the same AI generated image of the bees that we had earlier, and we'll connect this node to Gemini to get our prompt, and that prompt along with the image would go to our ByteDance image to video generator. So let's run this node. So the results look good, and it has created what I asked for, and it looks good. Up till now, we have explored all the different kind of nodes that are available on ComfyUI, and we have also learned about the utilities and how to make a workflow. Next, what I aim to do is to create an AI approach branding workflow. In a traditional branding process, we usually start by understanding the client, the product, and the audience. Then we research references, sketch ideas, explore visual directions. What I want to build is basically an AI extension of that same process. So, the basic idea behind what I want in this project or the workflow to do is that I'll give it some reference images. It would be often sparkling water can, and I would give it some reference images that would represent that drink itself. So we'll go towards node and we'll search for is nano banana 2. We'll bring this node here, and we'll also have is a load image node. As I discussed earlier, we will be using reference images, so I'll bring three load nodes here, and we'll just this, and then let me just connect all of these node right in nano banana. Now the reason why I'm using nano banana 2 is here because it supports multiple image inputs, rather other models do not allow this as such. So I've updated all my reference images. Let me search for Gemini. I want is a good proper image generation prompt, so I'll be using Gemini for this prompt generation. I'll give my Gemini a prompt and then connect this to nano banana. We'll also have is a preview as text node so that we can see what prompt it has generated. Now let's run this node, and as you can see, this is our result. Now in this workflow, I've only used one image generation node, but you can use multiple different image generation node that would increase your outputs and your availability of choices. So I like the first image that I had generated with nano banana, and I will be using that for my product photography. So let's create a new workflow, and we'll start from fresh. We'll first thing is we'll have a load image node here, and we'll load the image that I liked previously in here. And then we need again is a nano banana 2 node and a save node. Let's connect the load image node to nano banana, and we'll save the image to this node. You can also rename your nodes by double clicking on it or using the rename button. So the prompt that I use here is really important, and I'll be dropping that in the comments as well. This prompt would help us generate a grid of images, and the grid would contain total of 9 images. So in one single generation we can have 9 different outputs. So this was our prompt, and next what we need is, since we are creating a grid image, we need is a crop node. So we'll go to node and search for crop, and we will be using a crop image 3 by 3 node because we are generating a 3 by 3 grid. So we'll bring that here. Now that's connected, we want to do is create save nodes for all the different images. So we'll bring three save nodes on our canvas and then connect it all together. Now this multiple node connection may look a little clumsy at times. So what we can do is we can use a reroute node that would make our workflow look much more cleaner and organized. So in order to get a reroute node, you need to go to the node section and search for reroute, and we'll bring the reroute node on the canvas. We'll make few duplicates, we'll stack three nodes together, and then we will connect our save image node. Want your workflow to look a much more cleaner, you can use this, otherwise it's totally optional. So our complete workflow is now done. Let's click on run and let's wait for our generations. So as you can see, our generation is now completed, and here on the save node, on the stitched node, you can see we have a 3 by 3 grid of different product images, and that is being now sent to the crop image, and all the 9 images are cropped here. And on the save node, you can have a clear view of all the images and you can save them as well. Additionally, you can also upscale this, that's your choice, but our results look good, so we'll stop right here. For the final step, let's build an UGC character video to promote our drink, and we'll start by creating the UGC character itself first. So we'll start with a clean canvas, and we'll go to node and we'll search for nano banana 2. Let's bring that here, and we'll also have as a save node. It's a simple workflow. Let's connect this board and we'll give it a simple prompt which basically explains what we want in that image. So you can see my prompt right here. This is my prompt, and so here's our character ready. I'm happy with this, so let's save this and let's move ahead to the next step. For the next step, we will be building a UGC video. First, let's bring in two load nodes. One of the node would have our product image and the other would have a UGC character in it. Next, what we need is a batch node. Now, using a batch node is totally optional. It's just used so that we can transfer our images from one point to another in a clean way. Let's connect these two it's together. And next, what we need is Nano Banana, and we'll bring that node also and we'll connect it with the batch output node to Nano Banana. Here we need to give it a prompt. I'll just give it a prompt that combine the character and the product together, and you can change the resolution and the aspect ratio as well. So if you want, you can change that as well. Let's now bring in our save node and we'll connect that to the Nano Banana, and we'll again bring a batch image so that we can bring the output image along with our product image together. You can also do is add more reference images so that you can make your video look more immersive. So I will be using the product image that we had created earlier in the last workflow. Let us that to batch image itself. And next what we need is Kling's Omni, and you can see is Kling's Omni image to video. So we'll bring that on the canvas. Now the reason why I'm using Kling's Omni, because it supports multiple images input and it carries on the image reference very well. Now let's connect the node of image to Kling, and we also want to generate audio itself. So I'll turn on that or generate audio option. Now here you need to give it a prompt along with the three storyboards where basically you need to give is the dialogue that you want your UGC character to say. So I'm filling in all of these. The prompt basically contains what I want my video to look like and the entire workflow. And then we can finally bring our save video node and then connect this to here. Now there's an error, and that's because our time error is exceeding. So I'll just increase the duration to 15 and like change the video duration for each of the storyboards to 5 seconds each. Now let's run this again.
One sip, and suddenly I'm on the beach. Refreshing kokum sparkle with every wave. Taste the chill.
So you saw the results. Now this was in a vertical format. In a similar manner, I changed the aspect ratio and I have created this video too.
One sip, and suddenly I'm on the beach. Refreshing kokum sparkle with every wave. Taste the chill. Feel the vacation.
So yeah, the scope for something like ComfyUI feels massive because it isn't just a basic image generation tool, it's connecting custom logics, it's connecting models and automating workflows into one visual canvas. And for developers, creators, or even data focused peoples who want real control over their workflows, this can be really powerful. Because now you can go from an idea to a complex generation pipeline without needing to manage massive command line applications. Now, obviously, this isn't here to completely replace traditional creative directions. Human taste still matters, curation still matters, and intent still matters. But tools like this massively reduce the friction of building advanced AI architectures, and honestly, that's the interesting part. So, yeah, try out both the setups and let me know what you think. Do you prefer keeping everything completely local on your hardware, or does moving to the cloud makes more sense for your projects? Drop your thoughts in the comment and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, happy building.